What's going on, everybody?
What is happening?
We got Dirty Money with us tonight.
What's going on? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, dude. What kind of shirt are we rocking tonight? The Walmart Mickey tee?
The Walmart Mickey Mouse Christmas tee. I got to keep it going, man.
You do have to keep it going.
It's baggy. It's comfortable. Why not?
I dig it, dude. I dig it. I'm rocking my my purple Halloween shirt that I bought like 5 of them because I just love them so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Walmart's really stepped up their game, man, with t-shirts, horror and Christmas stuff, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah. We got a special guest tonight. We got Smokey the Bear with me tonight.
Nice.
Everybody, I want y'all to say hi real quick to old Smokey the Bear. He doesn't want you to start any forest fires. Don't mess with my bear, by the way. If anybody disrespects my bear, I'll have one of my mods boot you. So do not disrespect Smokey. All right, look at Nuclear showing a little bit of love to Smokey. We got Nuclear in the chat saying what's up to Smokey. So yeah, guys, Smokey will be doing a maybe next week. I can give him cocaine.
Do it.
Then you'll be the cocaine bear. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So I'm actually trying to be consistent for once in my life and do some live streams. Obviously, I've done really good with me and Nick with the podcast. Me and Nick have kept the podcast rolling well over a year. Mm-hmm. And to Nick's credit, the one time I forgot to, not really forgot, I lost track of time. He's like, bro, what are we doing? We never put out an episode this week. And I was like, oh, shit. So the podcast has been going good, but I've been trying to live stream more, and I don't like doing them alone. Yeah. And me and Brandon, dude, we're bros now. So like Brandon's like my my streaming bro.
Yes, it's pretty good stuff, man.
So I want to get the show started. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got some cool topics. I actually have a topic I want to talk about that I can't wait to see what the chat says. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I see all of you guys. All of you guys in the chat: Retro, Ryan, Kevin, Blinks, Austin, Toronto, Freddie. What's up? Everybody's showing love to Smokey. John Carl Stanton, what's up, man? He said, which is CHH? John, I thought you liked my bear, dog. Christian Horror Hounds should be the name of your subscribers. The Christian Horror Hounds.
That's good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm making a t-shirt of it. Ba-boom.
It's pretty catchy.
So hi to everybody in the chat. Let's have a good night tonight. Can you guys hear me fine? I'm assuming I'm coming in clear. Brandon, I'm certainly coming out of my mic, right?
Crystal clear. Yep. At least on my end.
Yep. So here's a question I want to ask about to you, Brandon, and to the people in the chat. So right now I've got Halloween hangover fever. Like I really missed the season.
Yeah. And
I was thinking about traditions that I've do that are not really traditions that you talk about, but really just like subconscious things you do. This past year, I started a tradition that I didn't know that I realized I really want to do again. And when I was taking a shower just a minute ago, getting ready to, I went running, took a shower to get ready for the show. I was listening to Danzig, and I realized probably 3 of the 4 times me and Sydney went. We're going to talk about Megan in a second, guys. Probably about 3 or 4 times me and Sydney went to Spirit Halloween or Halloween City this year. We listened to nothing but Danzig the whole way there. And it was the coolest vibe, right? Like we did Danzig one time, which is, in my opinion, still Rick Rubin's best album he ever produced. Danzig 2 one time. Then we did the live record he did with the Mother version that everybody really loves, that live version. And then Danzig 4. And I was thinking about how much I loved. Somebody get 69mega.com out of here. Get their ass out of here.
Jesus Christ.
Get them out of here.
They're legit, I promise.
Get them out of here. Arrest their ass. But anyway.
Dude, that's hilarious.
I realized how much fun it was this year listening to Danzig going to the Halloween store. So I really want to do that again next year. Or pick another band and just jam them the whole way there. Like some kind of horror, punk, or rock, or psychobilly band. Do you have any traditions that you've started now that you're a father with your kid, or traditions that you may do that you don't really think about? It's just stuff you do or things you're starting to do. What did you do last year that you want to keep going?
Um, well, I always around the Halloween season, I always start playing like a mix of Halloween music, not necessarily horror movie soundtracks, but select horror movie soundtrack stuff, old school Halloween music, theme songs from old TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And I was playing them in the car, and Isabella kind of she latched onto them a little bit, and she started requesting songs. She didn't know what they were called, but she was talking about she liked the Halloween theme, she liked the Halloween tree music, stuff like that. And it became a thing all October that she would request, Daddy, let's listen to that scary song, and she would call up some general name that she had for it. So it sort of became like in the car, like when you go look at Christmas lights on Christmas, it sort of became, let's go drive around to Spirit or Halloween City and listen to Daddy's scary music. That became kind of a cool thing. I guess that counts.
Yeah. So you're talking about like not soundtrack music, but just like spooky,
like the old
vinyl record, spooky sounds.
Like the sounds of Halloween, or the Halloween theme song, or like the music from the Halloween tree, or Charlie Brown's Great Pumpkin soundtrack, shit like that.
And she likes it.
She loved it. She wasn't scared at all, and she became kind of a thing. Or all October, she wanted to hear that. She didn't want to hear Frozen or Tots music or anything like that. She wanted to hear Daddy's Halloween music, and it was awesome. So
that sounds cool. Yeah, I like doing that too. I've got a couple vinyl. Let me get to this real quick. Thank you so much, Creaseful, with a $2 super chat. Call me the Hunter. That's my name, Creaseful. It's always good to see you, man. You're a regular. We got to talk to him on the phone when he did one of the call-ins, and he's got the best accent I've ever heard. Creaseful, where are you from? Were you from Jersey or New York? Remind me where you were from. Thank you so much, Creaseful, for the $2 super chat. I've got a couple of those records that are just called like spooky Halloween sounds, and it's door creakings and not coffins. I love them. I have a big, massive one in our shelf in the living room. Cauldrons, bubbling cauldron sounds.
Cauldrons.
Yeah. And I've got a couple. I've got a couple records of those, and I just love them. So
that stuff is so nostalgic, man. I got a couple of the cassette versions that I had when I was a kid. I rebought them, and they're still sealed and stuff, so they're vintage. But I have digital versions, and when I listen to those things, it brings you back, man. It really does bring you back. I think the best one is probably Chamber of Horrors.
Oh yeah,
it's got like the really cheesy Thriller cover and stuff. Like that shit's fantastic. You have to love that shit.
Let's see what some of the people are saying. Fight the Good Fight goes to Salem, Mass. Listening to Typo Negative. That's a vibe. Let's see. Norin says, I typically always get some Treehouse of Horror, a Scooby-Doo, and a Halloween morning while I'm drinking coffee. That sounds good to me. People want to see Chucky kill Megan, which I haven't seen. I was going to see Megan tomorrow, but Brandon, I'll tell you my plan, and you'll tell me if I'm doing the right thing or not. It's a change of plan. Robert says, one Halloween tradition I do is empty out a pumpkin, fill it with beer, then chug the whole thing. Now, Brandon, would you? I'm assuming Robert probably what do you call it? He excavates the pumpkin, right? Gets all the stuff out.
Yeah,
the seeds and.
The problem is you're never gonna get it very like all the way clean, and that raw pumpkin gut stuff tastes bitter. So unless he likes very angry beer, I cannot see that being enjoyable. I don't care how much of a beer drinker you are.
Smokey the Bear does not approve of the the beer pumpkin.
He does not. Dude, look at that guy. He's high as hell.
Izzy Alive says, my daughter loves Vampirina, so we rock that in the Halloween season. Plus, she's gotten really into Scooby-Doo, so that's been fun for me. That sounds great. Let's talk about let me see if anybody else has said anything. I play horror. Where we go? I lost it. Son of a bitch. I play horror vinyl and playlists nonstop in October. Does your musical taste change in general, Brandon, during Halloween time, or do you rock the Day of the Dead soundtrack 12 months out of the year?
Day of the Dead is always on my empathy player. It never
is it really? I was just being silly.
Yeah, Day of the Dead is always there. I could pull it up right now if I could find it. It stays on there. So does the Zombie 2 soundtrack and the Lost Boys. Those three usually always stay on there, no matter what.
So I think we had a super chat. Let me get to that before I bring up the next topic of discussion. It's Alexis. Thank you, Alexis. She sent me $1.99. She says, "Where's the generalized pumpkin dirty money?" He's got the generalized Mickey Mouse shirt on it tonight.
I do, man. It's fantastic too.
Brandon, I truly don't think you understand how much humor some of us got out of that. And we're not laughing at you. I swear to God, we're laughing at your humor, just like your style.
That's what they all say, Christian. They're all laughing with me. No, you're not.
I showed my wife that. I was like, Cindy, I just want you to hear Brandon's, when I ask Brandon questions, his answer to this. And when you go into generalized.
Shit. I need a good general font to go along with that, man.
Well, we'll get with Nick about the fonts. He's an expert on the fonts.
He is.
Okay, let's see where we're at. Oingo Boingo is my go-to in October. That's a good one.
Choice.
Oh, Dave is a beer connoisseur, so let's see what he said. You hollow out the pumpkin and you put in pumpkin beer and pumpkin spices, and you make a pumpkin keg. It's on my Instagram page. It's amazing. Dave is like one of those beer. Dave is like a boutique label beer guy. That's probably not the proper term. He may say that's not true, but like he's into, like he has a PhD. He drinks all kinds of beers, so I believe him. Does that make any sense to you? What he's saying? Would you do that?
Yeah, Dave, I understand you hollow out the pumpkin, but there's no way you're getting all the little tiny orange strings and stuff, and that's the bitter stuff. I guess
they might have tools though that they can,
yeah, I guess. That's cool though. You like keg it out. That's pretty cool. I thought you were just like fucking downing the pumpkin like that, man. That's pretty cool. That's a keg.
Little love for Brandon. He says, Jerry Nelson's, what's up, gentlemen? Brandon, nice video about the 25 years of terror winter earlier.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Would you like to reenact the final moments of your video for the audience?
I would, but there's no crash zoom effect on here to, to zoom in on me as I do that. So it wouldn't really work. Wink, wink.
Everybody's lively tonight. All right, so let's talk about this for a second. Look, Brandon, this is what was going on. I was going to go see Megan tomorrow, but I really want the They Live Steelbook, the 4K of They Live. And to do that, I got to go drive an hour. But the thing is, I actually have, well, this is what I don't have to drive an hour. If I wanted to go get They Live tomorrow, I could drive 25 minutes to my closest Best Buy and get it. But I figured Amazon, for some reason, is telling me I'm not getting mine till like next week. I don't know what's going on with that. And I don't feel like waiting that long because I really want it. I can't wait. To me, it's the most beautiful artwork they've done so far. And my in-laws are moving, and Sydney's dad is leaving for work during the weekend. So we were going to go see him on Sunday, but he's going to be gone Sunday. And I'm off tomorrow. So I figured me and Sydney will just head out to where they live, which is about an hour away. And I'll go grab They Live. And then we're actually getting some stuff from them. We're getting a new dinner table from them. We're getting rid of we have a massive dinner table. It just takes up our whole kitchen. So we're going to go do that instead. We didn't have to, but Sydney was like, if you want to go see Megan, go do it. But honestly, I'd rather go get a new kitchen table and get They Live. So I think I might pull off Megan till Wednesday. I don't know. Do you have any interest in Megan? People are saying this movie's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff from, I feel like everybody who's seen it has had something good to say about it, which is cool. I'm glad it's doing well. I'm glad people are having a good time with it, but I just really have no interest. I'm not really interested in the AI horror stuff. Like, I guess she's like a robot doll, sort of like the new Chucky. I'm just, it doesn't really, I don't get the spook factor from it, really. Like, I understand it. Like, Skynet in the Terminator films is scary as shit, but something about the AI dolls to me is less scary than like a doll.
Is it because you could whip Megan's ass?
I don't know. I don't know, man. In the trailer, it looks like she's doing a pretty good job holding her own.
True, but if my fight or flight kicked in, dude, a Terminator would beat my ass, but that Terminator is gonna have to beat my ass.
Yeah.
Well, a T-100 anyway.
A T100.
A T100. Let's see what people were saying. That this is what I'm talking about. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using my Chromebook, so I don't have a mouse. Bringing up Megan. This is this consensus. Loved it. Megan is a good movie.
Yeah.
Megan was all right. Megan is a fun time. It's damn good for its rating. That's what I'm saying. It's I'd say it's a B+ in terms of the audience reception.
That's good.
Johnny Darko says it just looks like a cheap knockoff. I kind of got that impression too, Johnny, but not a flattering knockoff, not a Charlie Band knockoff. Although I wouldn't say Charlie Band's a knockoff. He's really an innovator in the pumpkin. We're talking about pumpkins in the puppet doll genre. But I know what Johnny's saying.
She's like the new AI Dolly Dearest to Chucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Dolly Dearest was terrifying looking. I mean, truly terrifying looking. The thing about Megan is she just looks like a LA woman now, just plastic.
Is it CG or is it a chick in a costume with like CG elements? I can't figure it out when I'm looking at the footage.
I want to say that's a little kid with makeup on.
I mean, she looks pretty freaky, but I just don't. It's not really a scary concept to me. So, but I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'll probably see it down the road, like on streaming or some shit. But
yeah, I want to support it for the box office because it's good for the business, and you know, the boat's kind of gone for me to review it, which is why I was okay with maybe just waiting until Wednesday. I still probably will, but you know, the boat's kind of going on that. I think enough people, nobody here really is going to be like, oh God, Christian's reviewing this movie now. Maybe a few, but I mean, the boat's kind of going on it, so I feel like I'm past the point of hurrying up to try to see it. But I don't know, man. And then there's talks that it's getting an R rating Blu-ray.
Nice. Oh, is it PG-13 in theaters?
It's PG-13 in theaters. But what is PG-13 in 2023 though? You know what I mean?
I think you can still say one F-bomb. There's still no nudity, I don't think. But I think you can be pretty gory with a PG-13.
Maybe so.
You can have a decent amount of gore.
I've seen some decent PG-13 horror films. Like there was a movie called what do you call that thing where they put people in the room and then you got to figure out together how to get out? There was 2 movies about that. Escape Room.
Escape Room.
Pretty good.
I haven't seen them, but.
And then there was a movie called Countdown, which was a straight to video little thing, but it was fine. That was PG-13. You know.
There's a really big stigma around if it's not rated R or X, it's terrible. I'm like, that's not really true because there's a lot of really atmospheric, moody, scary films that or scare the shit out of you that are PG movies, PG-13. There doesn't have to be nudity and blood and gore for it to be good horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at this. Megan's better than the Child's Play remake. Wow. I don't ever feel the need. I've seen the Child's Play remake maybe 2 or 3 times now. I don't have much desire. I don't think it's bad, but I don't really have. I'm never really like, oh my God, I want to rewatch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've only seen 3/4 of it. And it was okay. It wasn't terrible. I just had no desire to ever go back and finish it or, you know, pick it up where I left off. So.
This is your next film, Brandon, The Pumpkin Master. That's actually a cool name.
Sweet. It is.
Yeah, it's a little girl in a costume. I figured the movements look too smooth.
That's trippy.
Cody says I'm hard on killer doll movies, but I'll approve Megan. I'll be damned. Cody's stiff too. Cody's a stiff reviewer too. Anyway.
Well, that's good. Start 2023 off with a very, you know, a horror movie that brings people together versus the very divisive 2022 with every other fucking movie.
Yeah. Cody says, I haven't slept. I've been waiting for CHH's review. Shit. I'm not reviewing the movie. Smokey the Bear may review Megan.
That's a killer idea.
You got any words?
That should be a whole fucking series, man.
Smokey reviews.
He's like, I loved it. It was good. The whole damn video, man.
I just saw Megan. Please put away your cigarette butts.
Man.
Here we go. Let me catch up to the chat. Zero cursing in Megan. People are saying. Megan gave me Garbage Pail Kids vibes. Dude, I love the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I always like the gator. The gator's my favorite. Dave says go out and support it. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up to the chat. So obviously, Brandon, and again, I want to get the chat involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's John Carpenter's birthday today, 75 years young.
That's right. That's awesome.
Let's showcase a John Carpenter film real quick and talk about it. One of the films I always love bringing up, obviously, is Memoirs of an Invisible Man, but I don't think you've seen that yet.
Not yet. I need to. It's on the list.
It's on the list. I understand.
On the list. Yeah.
How about John Carpenter's Christine? How do we feel about John Carpenter's Christine? Is this a movie that fluctuates with you? Do you like it a lot someday? And then does it go down in your ranking? Or is it just one you maybe not revisit too much? Or
I've always liked Christine ever since I was a kid, but I don't revisit it very often. So every time I watch it again, every couple of years, I'm always like, pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like it's a good movie. It's not one that I watch all the time, but it's good. It's a good movie. It's solid.
Is it a movie? It was interesting when Halloween Ends came out. I saw a number of people saying this is Christine. In a sense, did you find a parallel with that? Because it was something I saw a lot on Twitter and things like that. People were saying, "Oh, this is like the Christine of the Halloween films."
I mean, sure.
No. Hey, do not hold back. Whatever you're thinking.
Okay. The thing is,
because I think you're going to say that's
I feel like after
an insult
David
to Christine.
No, it's not an insult. People like what they like. That's fine. But I feel like after David and Gordon Green said that, suddenly everybody started finding that in the movie. Like, if you want to find something in a movie, you're going to find it. So I feel like just because David Gordon Green said that, everybody's like, oh, I can see the parallels. I didn't see any. Maybe I'm just a fucking generic asshole. I don't know.
No,
I found nothing in that movie.
Not a generic. You're a what?
Generalized. That's right. I didn't see the parallels, nor did I see the need for a parallel in a Halloween movie but I've gone on record endlessly about Halloween Ends. So no, Christian, I did not find the parallel between Christine.
Oh, I'm trying to understand what people might have meant by that, because okay, let's break down Christine for a second. It's a movie about this kid who has a friend who's the cool guy, and the boy, the main star of the film, gets this car, and the car is evil and has a soul. It's alive, and the car basically infects the kid. And the kid becomes mean, belligerent. He's got this newfound confidence, but he's a little bit sinister. And eventually the kid has to pull away from Christine to get his sanity back, his soul back. Right? I think there's a hint of similar seasoning, but we're talking two different meals. I think they both maybe have some kind of seasoning together, but that's about as far. I wouldn't say that they're that much alike.
Well, let's look at Dallas Jones's comment. Halloween Ends has a ton of Christine DNA. Cunningham, the junkyard seed, evil being transferred. I get it. Look, I get it, Dallas.
Let me pull it up. Hey, Nick, what's going on? I see you in there.
What's up, Nick? I get it, Dallas, what you're saying, but like, again, to me, there's a ton of horror films that have junkyards, evil being transferred, stuff like that, and that doesn't mean they're Christine DNA. Like that's the specifics I keep seeing people say, and I'm like, I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying it.
Was it more so the movie, or do you think it's more so the fact that John Carpenter also directed it, and that's something that they're maybe pulling from in terms of a relatability? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's probably that probably works. I guess. In the context of what you just said.
It's very interesting to me. I don't know what I see Halloween Ends as.
I also saw that people saying Lost Boys. I didn't really see that either.
Do you agree with Joe Jack?
Christine the Car is a more interesting character than anybody.
Christine is like Nicolas Cage in Willy's Wonderworld. What's it called?
You know what? I will say this real quick about Joe Jack's comment. as far as the interesting character thing. As much as I hate Laurie Strode's concluding arc and ends, her characterization and ends is very enjoyable. Like she's a fun character in that movie, I think.
Like and subscribe.
I don't know, like she's like super hippie Laurie, which is fun again. She's making jokes, she's being super she's like super fun grandma Laurie Strode. Again, it doesn't make any fucking sense within the context of Halloween and Halloween Kills. But she's at least an interesting, fun character, at least for the first 2 acts of Ends. That's the only positive thing I can say about it.
So Brandon, are you ever going to rewatch Halloween Ends?
I've seen it 3 or 4 times now.
Now,
since October.
break it down for me these 3 or 4 times. What happens after, excuse me, guys, I apologize. What happens after 3 or 4 watches? Are you looking for something and you're not finding it? Or are you just really upset that you didn't like it? Where are you at with that? And then we're going to talk about more John Carpenter, guys. But I haven't had this conversation. I truly, not because Nick's in here and I'm trying to stir up shit. Cause I'm glad Nick's there, but like seriously, I really haven't talked to Brandon mouth like verbally about texted we have, but not verbally. So I'll really want to hear his thoughts on this.
The first time I watched it, I was just deflated the whole time because it had been so built up in my head, and after Kills, I was like, dude, fuck yeah. So I was deflated. You guys know my thoughts on Ends beyond that, but I was deflated. Second time I watched it was back home, my entertainment center. I watched it in the den by myself. Isabella was asleep, lights were off, the atmosphere was heavy, and it still wasn't any better. And I was like, usually these movies get at least a little bit better, and it just was not.
Right.
Watched it a third time. I might have only seen it 3 times, maybe not 4. I think it was 4 though. Whatever the last time is that I watched it, I almost couldn't get through it. Not only is the movie, I think, just a pretentious piece of dog shit, especially within the context of the so-called trilogy they were trying to make. I just thought it was really boring. I don't like old man weak Myers. It makes no sense. I think Corey's I'm gonna piss everybody off in the chat here. So
no, yeah. Dude, I got a lot of people in the chat that don't like it.
Yeah, I just think it's that movie's not made for fans of Halloween 2018 and Kills. I don't think it's made for somebody else. Because I feel like there's a lot of people who love Halloween Ends who hated those first 2 movies, but the people who love the first 2 movies fucking hate Halloween Ends for the most part. I am weird because I fucking hate 2018 and Ends, but love Kills. Actually, wait, that's not true. I don't hate 2018 anymore. I'll reveal that right now to everybody. I don't hate that movie anymore. It's still at the bottom of the list, but I don't hate it anymore. It's grown on me about this much.
Yeah. I watched Ends again after I got my Steelbook, and I can still enjoy the movie. To me, these 3 movies are like a Rubik's Cube that are this close to actually being fixed, but I can't just grab it because there's things I want to change. She needs to be living a normal life in 18. She needs to be scared as hell and makes 0 sense. 0 cents. And nobody will ever convince me that it's
and just everybody in the chat, I'm not shitting on you or the movie. If you love it, that's great. I wish I loved it. That's what's so frustrating about that movie, because I loved Kills so much, and I thought it was so inventive is the wrong word, but it was just so I don't know. It was so balls to the wall crazy. I felt like I was watching Halloween 6 for the first time again when I first watched Kills. That's how insane that movie is.
Yeah.
And then Ends came along, and it was just a whimper. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is, again, if they had made that a part 4, made Michael Myers dead at the beginning, and Corey like finds his mask, and then the evil starts getting passed along, that would have been a more interesting story. I would have accepted Corey and accepted everything. They didn't need Myers at that point. Let Myers be killed in Halloween Ends, and then do the movie we got for Halloween Ends as a 4th film if they need to continue that storyline without Myers. Don't even put Myers in it.
I hear you, Brandon. Thank you again, Creaseville, for the $2 super chat. Junkyard and Christine versus the Junkyard and Street Trash. Dude, let me tell you about that Junkyard and Street Trash. Remember that? There was that big boat up dude in the junkyard, and doesn't he get impaled by a air cannon or something at the end? Dude, I love Street Trash. That's one of my all-time favorite. I'll never forget. I got this Street Trash shirt from Cavity Colors. This is a beautiful shirt, Brandon.
Mhm.
It was beautiful. It's got all kinds of great greens, yellows, reds on it. Sydney intercepted my mail one day, and I never ever wore it. She took it right from me. Never ever wore my Street Trash shirt.
Oh, that sucks, man.
It's
That
okay
movie's-
because at least I can physically see the shirt when she's wearing it.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
that movie is fucking bizarre, man. Street Trash is absolutely
Oh,
bonkers.
it's one of my favorites.
The junkyard hangout dudes are like the one weightlifter dude is all big and strong and like he beats his wife and shit. Like that's the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen.
Uh, let's see. Let me catch up. People are talking about ends, and I love everybody's thoughts. I appreciate it. Let's see. Anyway, let's catch up. So back to John Carpenter's birthday. So moving on from Christine, how about a little talk about Escape from New York? I put the background to Escape from New York. I got the 4K of that a while ago. That's a movie that I don't find myself revisiting as often as I probably should. And every time I watch it, it's funny. I'll say to myself, God damn it, this is his best movie. I don't necessarily think that, but every time I watch Escape from New York, I'm like, shit, this is good.
It's great.
This is so good.
Yeah. It's got a real depressing vibe to it though. So it is kind of hard to watch if you're not in the right headspace.
And Adrienne Barbeau is always looking good in that. But yeah, great movie. I love Escape from New York. I like LA too. I really do. I just always have to preface, take out the surfing scene. I'd prefer LA. Maybe. I just think
is
LA
really fucking good, dude.
LA has that industrial Marilyn Manson kind of just that serious industrial 90s apocalyptic vibe.
Yeah.
That I love, because during that time there were movies where the future had this industrial metal look to it, like I don't know, like you look at films like Judge Dredd from the 90s with Stallone and stuff like that. I love that futuristic look where everything was this I don't know, it's just like a vibe that those films had. And I love LA. I think legacy wise and pound for pound, New York's the better film. I really do. But I absolutely love LA so much.
No, Escape from LA is great.
I feel like the escape movies are the ones, like, people, to me nowadays, all I see people talk about, I say all, like The Fog. People love The Fog. I see people talk about The Fog a lot. In the Mouth of Madness is coming up. People, Scream Factory really pushed that film when that came out too. When In the Mouth of Madness came out on Blu-ray, people were going ham over In the Mouth, which great stuff. I love Vampires. That's the one I love so much. That's a film I want to talk about, is Vampires. I've told you, to me, when it comes to the 90s, I think In the Mouth is his number one. And then I think it's Vampires. Or
Vampires is really fucking good.
Vampires or Memoirs. I really fucking love Memoirs of Invisible Man. I just wish more people would watch it. Like, that's the most undiscussed John Carpenter film, because it's not a horror film. It's just not. But I can't tell you how many times I've seen people say I'm a John Carpenter guy, but they haven't seen it. I'm like, come on, you got to at least see all of his movies before you say that.
I was watching some video tonight when I was in the kitchen doing stuff.
Smokey lost
they were trashing Memoirs of an Invisible Man. What the fuck was I watching? It was some kind of breakdown of a movie, and they trashed that movie.
Dude, it's so good. I don't care. I was
like, Christian would be pissed right now.
Well, John doesn't have a good memory of it, because, quite frankly, Chevy was a handful. And then Daryl Hannah was she had her own. They had a lot of stuff going on. But I just challenge everybody to watch it. Like, actually go watch Memoirs of Invisible Man, and you decide. There are so many cool effects. Like, Brandon, they literally have a scene where I was telling you about this. Chevy's invisible and he tries to eat, and you see food go down a digestive tract, and it's disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. You know,
that's pretty cool.
I think it's an amazing film. You got Sam Neill as the villain. I don't think you can top it in the 90s, man. It's just that good. But I'm looking at the chat now. People are talking about Body Bags, 93. I love Body Bags. But I think Toby Hooper's story is the best one with Luke Skywalker with the killer eye. He gets the serial killer eye put in him. You know?
Yeah, he's got the big old mustache too, right?
He's a baseball player with a mustache.
Yeah, that's right.
And Johnny's playing that you think he's like a crypt keeper, coroner.
Yeah.
But then he turns out to be dead himself. Spoiler alert.
He looks pretty freaky in that movie, man.
Isn't it so funny how John just automatically looked old one day? Like you look at him in you look at John in 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. He's got black hair. Then something happened around like 85, 86. You look at him on the set of, I think, Big Trouble Forward. He just turned into a zombie. Like literally.
He just had a Steve Martin moment, man. His hair just turned white.
Like think about it. He was how old in 78? 29 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
29, 30. In 10 years, he aged 40 years.
Yep.
He just turned into this old
and he's
man.
looked 82 ever since that age. He's looked the same.
Oh, man. I'm just, dude, honestly, though, I'm so glad he's still around.
I can't believe he's still around. Like what Nick's saying right now, he pounded smoking for 60 years, beer nonstop. Like the fact that he's still kicking and still, I guess decently healthy is pretty amazing.
Well, I don't remember how long. I think it's been roughly 10 years, but on Charles Band's podcast, which every time I tell people it's the best podcast in the world, go listen to it. John Carpenter was his first guest. John said he quit smoking. I want to say it's been like 10 years since he stopped. And his dad lived to be like really close to 100. His dad didn't die but a few years ago, I think. His dad was in his well into his 90s when he passed away. And I think about if John should direct one more film or not. I think if he wants to, awesome. If not, I mean, good God. Got so much to enjoy from him.
What was his last movie? The last movie he wrote and directed?
The last movie he wrote and directed?
Or at least directed. Was it Ghost to Mars?
It was The Ward.
The Ward, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was like 2008, right?
11, I think. 11, 10, something like that. Ballpark. I watched that on Netflix before. I watched it. I didn't realize it was a John Carpenter film. I just watched it because I thought the cover, pretty girl, horror film. What the hell? I don't know what else to watch. It was Amber Heard in there too.
Yeah. I feel like I've never seen that fucking movie.
It's okay. I mean, it's not great by. I guess what it is like by John Carpenter standards, it's just a movie. It's okay. But I think the fact that it's a John Carpenter film, people will look at it and say this ain't half as good as the shit he's done before.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a job for him. I mean, he directed the script. It's a modest budgeted thing, and it didn't really come out. I don't know if it had a big theater run. I don't think it did. I want to say I saw it on Netflix, and I want to say I saw it a year after it came out in 2011 or 12 on Netflix. So I thought it was fine. You know, it wasn't nothing crazy, but let's do this. Let's go top 5 John Carpenter right now for Johnny's birthday.
All right.
And let's do this. Let's say our number 1s and then go to number 5s. And I want to start if I can.
Okay.
I think there's only one answer for John Carpenter's number 1 film. The Thing.
I'll go Halloween.
Okay.
I know that's generic, but that's got to be the best, I think.
That's a generalized answer, but I appreciate it. Number 2 for me, then I would say is Halloween. I really think The Thing is his best pound for pound. I think when you look at the reason I would put The Thing at number one, it's easy. It's just that I think everything about that film is more elevated. Even the score, he didn't make the score, but he told the composer, "This is what I want."
Yeah.
And that's why people think it's a John Carpenter score. It's simple, it works. The every character in that movie is so well defined. The dialogue is phenomenal. Phenomenal, you know? And Rob Bottin shit, I mean, still till this day, it's some of the best stuff I've ever seen. I think I think The Thing is possibly one of the greatest horror films ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's The Thing for me, but my number two would be Halloween right after it.
Mm.
You can't, for me, it's so, and for me, the best thing about Halloween is always going to be the score. To me, that's still the biggest thing about it. I just, how do you, and if the first score is my favorite, I like the Halloween 2 score, the gothic stuff that I think Alan did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you got to go Halloween 1 or 2. I think that's, probably going to be a lot of people saying. I'm seeing people right now. They're saying Halloween and The Thing, and people already saying their number 3s and 4s. What's your number 2, Brandon?
Probably Escape from New York.
Okay. Wow.
Actually, no. Maybe
the
2 might be a tie. Yeah, 2 might be a tie between New York and LA. Because, like I said, I'm conflicted. So
let me see if I can get Smokey's hat. Smokey dropped his hat. All right, so what's your definitive answer
for number 2?
For number 2,
I'll just say Escape from New York just for clarity, but just know that it can flip flop. And what is your number 3?
My number 3 is easy. There's only one number 3. God damn it, Smokey!
Wow. He doesn't like the hat, man. That's the problem.
All right, my number 3 is easy. I'll give you a hint.
They Live.
It's got my favorite singer of all time, artist, singer in the movie of all time in it. Somebody in the chat will get it if you don't get it. Dave Vanderhoff. It's one of the creepiest movies ever made.
Why is this slipping my mind?
My favorite hard rock singer ever.
Prince of Darkness?
Prince of Darkness. Easily.
That's fucking good.
Easily. It's not close. My top 5 is definitive. Prince of Darkness is my 3rd favorite. I love Prince of Darkness.
I always forget about that movie.
I'll tell you what's so good about it. Good job, Chad. I see you guys. Prince of Darkness has a fantastic soundtrack. It's not as singable as some of the other stuff he's done. Like They Live. Bow, 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 bow. And you've got obviously the Halloween soundtrack, the Fog soundtrack. Dun, 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 dun. It's not as singable as his other stuff. But the soundtrack for Prince sounds like the end of the world. It's so good. I love it. And I'll tell you what else is so good about Prince of Darkness. The first time I watched Prince of Darkness, when it cuts to that hand camera and they're walking by the gate and you go into the church and you see the silhouette of what looks like Satan and the arms are going up like this. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time.
Holy shit. The chat will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is in Prince of Darkness, the movie's going, all of a sudden the movie stops and it cuts to a hand tape camera, like a home video camera. And it goes in front of the church where the movie takes place. And it's somebody just walking with his hand camera, and it looks inside the church and there's these glowing lights and it looks like the Grim Reaper and he's opening his arms like this. And then it cuts.
Oh, nice.
Dude, the first time I watched Prince of Darkness, I thought something was wrong with my Blu-ray or my DVD. And Alice Cooper is awesome in Prince of Darkness. Let me get a thumbs up in the chat for Prince of Darkness. I'm telling you guys, hands down, my 3rd favorite John Carpenter film.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, but I remember liking it a lot.
Please do. Please do. Please watch Prince of Darkness again for me. But
Yeah.
that's my number 3. Where are you going for number 3? It's got to be The Thing.
As They Live for me, I think, for sure.
So
I fucking love that movie.
is The Thing going to make your top 5?
It's in my top 5 for sure.
Okay, so I guess I gave away your number 5. But think about it. Think about it.
Well, we're only at number 4, right?
That was your number 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's your
yes,
number
true.
4?
My number 4, this is where it gets tricky. My number 4 Number 4 for me is going to be oh, this is tough. My top 3 are easy. I think it's son of a bitch, Brandon. I think I got it. My number 4 is Big Trouble in Little China. You gotta love it.
That's a commendable answer. I'm gonna say The Thing for number 4 for me.
Okay, number 5. Thank you, Creasefold, with $2 super chat. He goes, any love for Assault on Precinct 13? I love Assault on Precinct 13. That movie was way better than I thought it was ever going to be, Creasefold. Thank you again for the $2 super chat. Because it came out before Halloween, I figured, well, Halloween's lightning in a bottle, but it's a primitive movie. It's low budget, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, this is probably going to be a little bit more primitive than that. But in some ways, I was like, damn, Assault on Precinct 13 feels like a bigger and better movie production-wise than Halloween almost to me. You know, so and maybe it's just because I had such low expectations.
Yeah.
People are upset with me that I haven't said In the Mouth of Madness yet. I love these films, guys. It's hard to pick your favorite John Carpenter films. But your number 4 was The Thing?
Yeah.
Number 5. Oh boy. Number 5 for me is a 3-way tie.
You can't do that, remember?
You know what I'm
one.
You know what I'm gonna say for real?
You want me to go first?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Escape from New York. It's gotta be Escape from New York.
Yeah.
The problem is this. You look at who worked the best with Johnny Carpenter. I don't think Donald Pleasance is the answer. I think the answer is Kurt Russell.
Yep. Both escape films, Big Trouble in Little China, Elvis. Is there any more? That's 4 movies right there, man.
That's 4 movies. But there's so many good, like, I really want to say memoirs. I love memoirs, obviously. I love vampires. You got to look at In the Mouth. But I think there's something about John's initial run, because I consider his sophomore run Starman to They Live. But that initial run where he was putting out platinum records, to me, you look at Escape from New York, I think in some ways you could call that his Black Album, where he really took everything he was learning and perfected it by the time he got to Escape from New York. Or maybe The Thing, I think you would say was The Thing. But even so, if you call New York the Injustice for All, the Injustice for All for John Carpenter, it's just like he had it figured out. And Avco Embassy was such a great company for him, that low budget, but a little bit more than low. Like, you can't beat Escape from New York, man.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
I hear you.
You know?
I'm going to put LA at number 5, just so I have both films in my top 5. That feels comfortable.
Yeah.
like that. Born to Be Rad in the chat. He says good night. Good night,
Hey,
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, so Kurt Russell was in 5 of his movies that I can name. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we got The Thing, Escape, Elvis, Little China.
Elvis. Is that it? Is there only 5? There's probably a 6th one if we dig deep enough, I'm sure.
I don't know. I don't think there is.
Jamie Lee Curtis, well, I guess she's only really been in 2 because she was the voice of the radio. She's the voice of something in The Fog, right?
No, Jamie Lee she's got a role in the movie. She hitchhikes with Tom.
Oh, duh, yeah. I'm thinking of Halloween 3 where she's only the voice. That's not really a John Carpenter film.
Well, it's funny. Sean Clark has asked Jamie Lee Curtis about that, and she says, "No, I didn't do that." But it's like this thing. It's been this debate for a long time. Did Jamie Lee Curtis do it's 6 o'clock. It's curfew time. He said he asked her, and he's like, she said, no, I didn't do that. And then he asked Tommy Lee Wallace, and he was like, I don't remember her ever doing that. I always thought it was Deborah.
That's weird.
To me, it always made sense that Deborah did it. But if you listen to it, I can see how people are like, oh, that sounds like her.
I think it does sound like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
But now that you said that, that's kind of strange. Maybe it's an inside joke.
Yeah. But let's talk now. Since we're on the topic of people, I'm looking at people's list. People had some great choices. I saw some love for a lot of love for The Fog, a lot of love for Escape from New York. Blu-ray Addict says Radio Silence is making a legacy sequel to Escape from New York. As long as Kurt's in it, I'm okay.
I think he's confirmed. I think he's confirmed as the lead role. I think.
I'm seeing love for The Thing. Ben Grimm is a fan of Somebody's Watching Me. That's a good movie. A little thriller with John Carpenter directed right after Halloween. John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, made some of the best films. What's up, John Flesher? John Flesher in the house. Everybody knows John Flesher now. He's a star. The world's greatest Nightmare on Elm Street collector. With all his standees and John Flesher has everything, man. He's a savage. All right, Brandon. So while we're on the topic of Johnny, let's do top 3 John Carpenter scores.
Ooh.
Gotta narrow it down even tighter now.
Scores. Okay. And it counts if he has like people working with him, right?
That's fine if he had Alan helping him out. Number 1 is easy. It's Halloween.
All right. Mine's Halloween 2. He was predominantly on that soundtrack. So,
well, it's his score still. Yeah. Alan just added the.
Yeah, but I think he actually came into the studio and played though.
Maybe
right?
so.
I think he played. Because in that interview, Alan Howarth was talking about how he wanted to come in and just like make sure everything's set up. He doesn't want to know how it works, just make sure it works. I think that's how it happened. I could be wrong.
Well, that's 100% what happened for Halloween 3 because I remember him saying that.
Yeah,
so if that's your number 2, my number 2 is easily Season of the Witch. I think that's one of his most eclectic, creepy, bizarre scores. I mean, Chariots of Pumpkins, that song alone is just such a mood.
Yeah.
That song's amazing. It's creepy as hell.
It is. My part 2 would be Halloween 1. Which makes sense.
Yeah. I'm seeing people say The Thing. He didn't do the score, so I'm not counting that. Although he directed Marconi on what to do. My third favorite score from Johnny. It's got to be The Fog, dude. The Fog has some creepy ass music. Escape from New York is great too, dude.
That's only been my number 3 is Escape from New York.
Yeah, I think The Fog is going to edge it out for me just a little bit, but that dun dun da 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 dun dun. It's the New York. That New York theme is good, dude. Mouth of Madness has good music too, though. Ba-na-na. He had a lot of good music, man. In some ways, his music is, just as good. I don't know.
I need to buy Prince of Darkness and Mouth of Madness because I can't remember a damn thing about that movie. Now that we're talking about it,
dude. I really want you to revisit Prince of Darkness. That's my 4 and 5 were obviously difficult, but seriously, dude, easily my number 3 is Prince of Darkness. I love it.
I remember liking it a lot, but I can't recall ever seeing Mouth of Madness. I remember the VHS cover like yesterday, so I feel like I had to have rented it back in the day.
You probably did. It's like the most H.P. Lovecraft thing that's not H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah. That was what, 92?
5.
That was 95?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to have seen it, and that would have been a hot year for that VHS tape.
And then Village of the Damned is good too. I like Village of the Damned a lot.
We were talking about Assault on Precinct 13. Did you like that remake?
Yeah, I did. I've seen it twice. I thought it was pretty good.
It's pretty good. Did you like it better than the original?
No.
Yeah.
I really liked the original. I was so impressed by it. I didn't watch the original until 5-6 years ago when I got the Blu-ray, maybe a little bit longer. Whenever the Blu-ray came out from Scream Factory, shit, that could have been a decade ago at this point. But I finally watched it just because I was like, well, now is a better time than ever. But I was like, this movie is so fucking good. Like I was so impressed by Assault on Precinct 13. It just blew me away. Heyo, CR with a super chat, $4.99. Thank you so much. Petition to make Brandon the official 3rd member of UNITA. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to what's to come from the podcast in 2023. Thank you, Brandon. I'm so glad people have taken to Dirty Money. You do like that nickname, right? You don't take offense to Dirty Money.
I don't. I love it, but there's a lot of people. There's a lore, Christian. People want to know why Dirty Money. I can't tell them because I don't know.
I can give them a generalized answer, but I can't give them specifics.
I stopped robbing people back in 2008, so it can't be because of that.
Here's the thing, guys. Sometimes the mystery is better than the answer.
That's true.
But I want everybody to refer to him as Dirty Money, dude. You got to think about how he makes his money, dude. It's dirty.
It is. It's real dirty.
So Brandon, man, what's going on with Tabata Vision? Let's talk about your schedule, man. Let's talk about what videos we're working on. Smokey the Bear needs to know.
So I had that one today, the Lost Halloween cameo. I have a
when did you make that video? Did you make that relatively soon, or do you work in advance?
What do you mean?
Let me break this down because I'm sure the chat is interested in this as well as me. How do you schedule your videos? Do you film them and edit them and have them set 4 or 5 days beforehand?
Yeah, I try to. I really like to have shit done and scheduled because I like having not necessarily time off, but I like just having that breathing room of knowing that I'm set for a good week or two. I love that feeling. The problem is getting ahead of that curve. You know what I mean? Because you need a lot of content to fill that shit. And back in December when I had all those Christmas videos scheduled, I was ahead of myself by 2.5, 3 weeks for a good chunk of time, and I just can't keep up now. But yeah, I do like scheduling stuff 4 or 5 days out at least. Sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes a couple months. Like I'm doing shit now. I'm making stuff this week and next week that aren't going to come out till October. I'm going to schedule it and have it come out in October just so it's done. You know what I mean? Because last year I fucking scrambled to get. I got nothing done in October or December really that much. Not as much as I wanted to. So yeah. Dirty generalized. That'll be the new shirt.
Dude, the people have spoken.
Yep.
We love Dirty Money. Dirty Money is the GOAT. Afro Whale hopes the new iPhone Pro comes in pink. I know Dirty Money feels the same.
I do. I can't wait to get the new iPhone 15 in pink.
Dude, you need to start wearing like a dollar bill t-shirt. Your phone case needs to be like everything you do now needs to be money. Physical money.
Oh yeah.
Can you start a channel called Tabata Money?
I'll just get more and more douchebag every time I come on this channel. Like I'll start with a hat and then a money symbol, then like gold teeth and fixed sunglasses and all that shit.
Brandon, can you I think people would love to know if first of all, if you're not subscribed to Tabata Vision, please do.
Yes, do that.
How was the work and the planning for Texas Chainsaw Day? How many man hours did you put in on prepping that event?
You know, a couple of months ago, I knew the answer to that question. I think it was probably a week or two worth of time after work and a little bit here and there on weekends. I did what? I did 9 reviews. So it was probably 2 hours of work, 2.5 hours of work per video, including the audio recording and the voiceover.
Yeah.
What the hell is a Tabata buck? What the hell is a Tabatu? It sounds like a toboggan. It's like an Indian canoe.
We have got some memes tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Alexis. Super chat.
Beyonce's in the chat. She said, "I'm wondering about the name. Thanks for the answer." And she still doesn't have the answer, so I love it. She can keep asking me about it.
Oh, Shanna. What's up, Shanna?
That's hilarious.
Shanna's watching. Alexis with $1.99. She says the generalized podcast.
People love this generalized thing. Shit.
Brandon
came up with something better.
You know what's funny is when I showed Sydney the clip of that, you're the star. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking credit for that at all. But you tell me if my wife has any merit to this. She says, Christian, it's really not that big of a deal what he said, but it is now because you laughed and made it such a thing to where you stopped and asked Garrett about it to where it's a thing now. And I was like, so is it my fault or
it is your fault?
Or is generalized just an interesting word to use to
if you
say,
guys had just kept your fucking mouth shut, this wouldn't be happening right now.
You know what, dude? Brennan, again, your movie, Call Me Evil, I loved it.
Oh, appreciate it.
And I've told everybody to please check out Call Me Evil. Your stuff looks professional.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would be lying. I would be lying my ass off if I didn't say that when the camera cuts to you, when the camera cuts to you and you're wearing the generalized pumpkin shirt.
I did that on purpose too.
Which leads me okay, so you didn't film it that day we did the
No. Nope.
Dude. People are coming up with new names for you.
Tobacco Tabano.
General Tabano.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, I got one. Generalized CHH. Alexis says it's my fault.
Justin Smith says generalized vision. That sounds like a damn. Ooh, that's depressing.
Dino, you about to hit 100K. Everybody, round of applause for Dino. About to hit 100K. He gave me a $2 super chat. He said general movies are the best.
Dude, they really are.
For a great relate, you could save online. Go to the general and save some time.
Fellow Conda says Tabatu Electric Boot. Listen, that's not okay. Listen, I'm not Japanese. That's not how you spell the name. Okay.
Oh my god, dude. The chat is on fire tonight. Brandon, dude. Can we get I have an idea. So one of my favorite things you do on the channel is thank you. Dino sent me another one. Thank you, Dino. He says He loves general movies and he rents them at a general store. You know, I'm gonna have to make a whole line now of stickers with you with a general hat on. The pumpkin, the generalized pumpkin. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you for that. Dino is at it again. Dino's
Generally.
Dino's draining his generalized bank account on this show. Thank you, Dino. Generally.
That is racist.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, okay. Here's what I was saying. Obviously, I found your channel from the remasters. Great remasters.
Appreciate it.
And your Just the Thoughts are amazing. Can we... Oh, shit. He's got the general popcorn.
I spilled the whole fucking bag on the floor.
Oh, shit. You got a dog or a cat?
Oh, I know I didn't. I have a toddler.
Come eat the popcorn. So here's the thing. I love the Just the Thoughts. Is it possible for us and the chat to get a live, off the cuff, Just a Thought from Dirty Tomato Vision Tomato? I'm serious though, dude. I want a live Just the Thought, and I want you to come up with an idea that we can riff off of, dude. A real Just the Thought. You've got to have something in that noggin.
Does it have to be a funny topic, or can it be anything?
Dude, it can be whatever you want. Any kind of generalized idea.
Generalized idea. It's got to be a live show, huh?
I'm just saying right now, like, give me a...
live now. Okay, just a thought. Holy shit.
Give me a Just the Thought that we can riff off of.
I have so many topics. Okay, let me think of one. I have a list of shit I'm going through and writing right now. Okay. Just a thought regarding Alice from Friday the 13th, okay? She was announced to be coming back. Now, my question, we sort of touched on this last week.
Thank you, Dino.
If Alice is coming back and she's alive in the show, that means it's a sequel to at least the first movie, obviously. So did part 2 not happen? And if part 2 didn't happen, is Jason still in the show as a grown man? Why would he have the hockey mask? Why would he even have the sack head? If part 2 hasn't happened, they've already given themselves an out to not explore the lore of part 2 onwards. So her being in the show is very problematic.
Dude.
Unless she somehow survived part 2. Because if she didn't, if part 2 didn't happen, then necessarily part 3 and 4 didn't happen either. You know what I mean?
Dude, you got me all fucked up now.
Yeah, her alive is being that's very problematic.
Which leads me to believe there's only one possible explanation. She's playing a different character.
She could be. Yeah, because they haven't said she's playing Alice, right? Or have they?
No, they haven't said. She has shared on her Instagram page, it's true, can't wait to be back in the Friday the 13th, whatever. But my thing is this. I am really not... God, fuck, dude. I forgot about Friday the 13th part 2.
Yeah.
There's an you could say, what if it was a dream?
You could say that, but then they talk about her being killed in part 3 and 4, don't they? Did they mention that? Damn. That she died. I thought they did at least. I mean, I could be wrong, but...
What's up, Kenny?
What's up, Ken? I feel like they would be bringing her back as Alice because that's the hot legacy thing right now, is to bring back the original Final Girl. They did it with Halloween. They kind of did it with Texas Chainsaw 2022. And I feel like they're doing it here. But if they do that route, who is she coming back for? Because she killed Pamela Voorhees and she doesn't know Jason. So what's the connection here? And why would she even come back?
Fuck, dude.
And if she's coming back, then that means the series has to be set present day because she's old as fuck. It couldn't be set in like 1985. Oh, the chat's being awfully silent now.
Well, I've seen a lot of people say, well, she's probably going to be playing somebody else. I think they're getting her involved in the show out of admiration, respect for the fans to just see her involved again. She's going to have to be playing somebody else. Right?
I don't see what the point would be to have her come back and play somebody else. I don't see it because in Wednesday it was plausible that Christina Ricci comes back as like the cameo, playing a new character kind of thing. But
which she was great too, by the way.
Yeah, she was good, but this just seems like a different kind of beast. I feel like they wouldn't do that. I could be wrong, but I feel like she's going to be playing Alice.
Dude, Rock Music says they're de-aging her, which that technology exists. We saw it in The Irishman.
It does.
It's not a cameo, fellow content creator. I thought the same thing. I really did, but she shared herself. She shared on. Sorry. She shared on her Instagram an article of her having a quote unquote reoccurring role. So I think that means she's going to be a player in the show. It's gonna be interesting, fellow content creator. It's gonna be very interesting, to say the least. Alexis Hora is confused by this just a thought. She's saying, "What in the general F? $1.99? God bless." I guess I'm dirty money tonight, dude.
That's
I'm
true.
making money at the expense of Brandon.
Right. Like a prostitute.
Jerry has thoughts. He said, she's only coming back as JLC came back for Halloween. Friday the 13th, continuing the tradition of copying Halloween.
I get that, but my other problem with is Alice is nowhere near the Laurie Strode legacy. You know what I mean? So I feel like for these final girls just to be jumping on this kind of bandwagon legacy thing seems kind of weird. Like if they do it with Nightmare on Elm Street, that's going to feel real cheap now because there's been so many other ones doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I was thinking that too. What if she's the new killer?
I think they should get Dee Wallace
as Pamela,
as an older Pamela.
At this point, if they wanted to fucking CGI Betsy Palmer's face on somebody, they could.
Would that be disrespectful?
I don't know. And we're a long way away from Tarkin now in Star Wars, so it would probably look okay, especially if it was in the dark. But I don't know. I guess that would be up to her family to decide, and the fans, if that would be disrespectful. She was such a beloved character, though. I feel like it wouldn't be disrespectful if it was done in the right light and with class, and not just like, you know what I mean, like not a shock value thing.
Yeah.
Because even she kind of warmed up to it towards the end. You know, she was going to conventions and stuff, which is very cool.
Right.
So,
Antonish does ask, will Jason be in the Crystal Lake TV show? Yeah, I mean, and that's according to Brian Fuller.
Mm-hmm. So which timeline is this going to be? Because they're going to have to pick and choose. If Alice is playing Alice.
Dallas Jones is dropping some information. He said Brian Fuller was a showrunner for Hannibal. That show retold the entire franchise from the start. I bet we're getting a new Alice. I got a problem with that, Brandon. You don't disrespect the Paramount films.
I got a problem with the TV show in general. We already know this, but to Dallas's credit, though, Hannibal was a fucking kick-ass show. I think it's probably my favorite on-screen version of Hannibal Lecter. I know it's preposterous to say, but I think I liked Mads Mikkelsen better than
I just feel like if you want to retcon the Halloween films, go ahead. I don't care. I really don't. But the Paramount 8, you can't. That's sacred for me. That's sacred. And I'm not saying you. I don't know. I'm getting nervous now. I'm excited to see it, but I'm also very nervous because Halloween, have fun, do whatever you want to do. Leave Halloween 3 alone. That's my one thing. I think touching that would be the stupidest thing in the world. I really do. What else do you need from Halloween 3? You find out who's the villain. You find out how he did it. You find out the evil. You find out what you need to know. The only thing you don't know is if the television channel got turned off. Perfect ending. Don't touch it. Why would you touch it? I don't want to know what Connell Cochran was doing beforehand. Right. But anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent. But this is Friday the 13th, man. This is my second favorite. Mid-level says Betsy Palmer's too iconic as that character. I don't think I'd be able to buy anyone else in the role. I'm there.
He's got a point, man, because in Freddy vs. Jason, that lady did a pretty good job in the 15 seconds she was there, but it was not Betsy Palmer.
And they offered her the role. They wouldn't pay her.
I know. And the young girl, I know it was a prequel, but in the Friday reboot, that young girl playing, what's her name? Pamela Voorhees, just didn't have the same. There was a weird, like, frenetic creepiness to Betsy Palmer. She had that weird ass smile and those really like set back eyes.
And she was,
like you can't do it again.
And she was such a human being. And I say this with all due respect. She looked normal. She looked real. She looks like she had some smoker's teeth. She wasn't like this really fit old lady. She looked like a mom. Mm-hmm. And she was so great. But that vibe of the first movie too, you can't recapture that again. That vibe of the first movie is just, I love Friday the 13th. That's my second favorite. Final chapter, Friday the 13th. I think the first one is so good. And Betsy, I'm such a Betsy fan. I'm ashamed of myself, to be honest with you, for not being a fan of the first movie for so long. I would just not watch it. I just don't have Jason, I had to get a little bit older and watch other horror movies to start appreciate atmosphere and tension building and that sort of thing. And then realizing, God, Sean really made a good movie, and I love Betsy. Dino with a $5 super chat. Just me, a goth in general. Well, is she going to be in the show? She's Mrs. 824 now, Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dino. I appreciate it, man. God bless. Justin has zero interest in the show. Perhaps the TV show will be in its own universe and not exist in the Paramount universe.
That's my other. We talked about that before too. Is what universe does this show take place in?
Alexis Horace says Halloween Ends is better than a Paramount 8. What are you talking about?
False.
I think she's drunk. She's drunk. She doesn't mean that because she don't like Halloween Ends.
That's trolling right there.
She's a troll. She's trolling. That's just wrong in general.
Halloween Resurrection is better than Halloween Ends.
Jerry says CHH, be prepared to be pissed. There's no way this show doesn't touch the Paramount 8. Somebody got mad because I say Paramount instead of Paramount. I'm sorry. It just comes out of my mouth that way. I'll be honest. The OG Friday the 13th is my least favorite in the series. I think it's fine, but nothing great. I understand, Jade. For me, it just works, man. I don't know. I think the people, the chat has spoken. I think they're a little bit nervous. I think people are unsure what to expect. I think we all are at this point. Brandon, you really see what you did? We were having a good time.
No, you wanted it. You got it.
I'm supposed to say that.
Here's the bigger problem, man. The bigger problem with the TV show is if it's going to be a retread of the, because like Dallas said, he's talking about the quote, if it goes 10 seasons, Jason will go back to space, sort of implying that they're going to retread the series. Like you said, build a whole new lore, a retelling. If they do that in TV form, that's several seasons worth of story. There will be no incentive to make movies, feature films that run concurrently to the separate TV show, retelling the same fucking story twice at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's the incentive to make movies if they're going to have a very successful TV show that's going to tell the whole story anyway?
Unless they're able to differentiate, right? I just can't imagine not seeing another Friday the 13th in the theater again.
Yeah, I fucking hate this era of TV. I love it and I hate it.
Yeah.
Because of this kind of shit. Like, I don't want to watch a fucking Child's Play TV show. I don't want to watch a Michael Myers TV show. I don't want to watch a Friday the 13th TV show. Give us movies once a year.
CR says he thinks we're in good hands with the A24. I'm inclined to agree with that. But the thing about A24 is they give creative control to their people.
Mhm.
So it really depends on who's involved. People are saying that Brian Fuller did a good job with Hannibal. So maybe there's a chance.
Hannibal was very, very good, but I feel like Hannibal also could be considered a fluke. Because Brian Fuller did AHS, correct? American Horror Story?
Every season? Or he produced them? Or
He did. That's his show, right? He created that show, I think, didn't he?
I can find out unless somebody in the chat can
I think
verify.
Brian Fuller did AHS. Anyways, with that said, there's a lot of terrible content in every season of AHS. If he's the guy I'm thinking of, there's a lot of seasons of that show I like, but there's some shit I'm like, this is really bad, and I hope it doesn't really have that stink in this show.
Akeem brings up a point. How do you feel about this? He says A24 don't ever promote or market their movies enough for me. Do you think that's part of their appeal? They're trying to be the cool kids? Or do you think that's where they try to save money, is not spending money on marketing to garner that word of mouth for their films?
I don't really know.
Ryan Murphy did American Horror.
Ryan Murphy's who I'm thinking of. Okay, good. So it's not that guy. Good. I don't know. I can't recall seeing any advertisements for. Well, I guess I recall seeing a lot of shit for The Lighthouse. That was A24, right? And The Witch, that was A24.
Yes.
I remember seeing a lot of promos on TV and stuff for those movies. But you're right. Like lately, I didn't really see anything for X or Pearl except for like online ads. But whatever they're doing, they're getting the word out.
Yeah, I feel like they're obviously successful.
Mm-hmm.
I know my mom heard about Everything Everywhere All at Once, but Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. I love that movie, by the way. That movie was fucking wild.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Excuse me. It's hard to say because I'm so in tune with that world, as are you, and as everybody in the chat, obviously. Like and subscribe, by the way. Drop a like on the video. That it's hard not to know what they're doing because we're so hyper focused on it. So I try to put myself outside to understand a little bit better. I don't know. But do you have any other just the thoughts? We'll move on from Crystal Lake.
You want to do this again? Let me think of another one. I had another really juicy one today. I didn't write it down. It's at work. The list is at work. Fuck.
What about the one I gave you to do? Do I let you want to say that for video? Because I'd actually like to see you put that.
Yeah, I'm actually writing that one right now. So let's save that one.
Okay, save.
I had some other topics written down. Let's see if I can find them on my phone. Damn it! What was the other one?
Behave, Jaden. Like and subscribe.
Okay, what's the dad?
Dude, are we gonna get Elias Voorhees?
That would be cool.
I heard Will Smith's playing.
Oh man!
And every time somebody tries to give Pamela shit, Elias goes, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." Cheers.
Hey, we're not drinking tonight. That's weird.
Thank God, dude.
That never happens.
We got canceled tonight if you were.
That's true. I can't find my list. Fuck, I had some juicy ones on there too.
I have just a thought.
What's that?
What would have happened to horror if Kevin Williamson hadn't
Uh-oh. It's happening, people. It's happening. We went an hour and 30 minutes without Christian's internet fucking him.
Am I here?
You're there now. You're all
Okay.
glitchified and pixelated, but you're back.
I'll come back. My internet's doing. It's like a. Jaden. I'm coming back. Let me know when I come back clear, Brandon. You can understand me. And
You're good now. You're a little
Okay.
bit pixelated, but you sound okay. So your question was, what if Kevin Williamson haven't revived horror with Scream, correct?
Yes, if you can hear, it looks like my internet's back. For some reason, my internet does this thing where it cycles.
Mhm.
Sometimes it won't do it. It was so funny because I thought I had a good idea when you went, uh-oh. And I thought you were getting your wheels spinning. But anyway, let's try this again. If Kevin Williamson had not wrote Scream and that movie not come out in 96, what would have happened to the genre for the rest of the decade?
I feel like that's a great question because I feel like Scream.
They're trying to cancel me for asking this question.
Dude,
Trying to shut my internet down.
The spider web of Scream is bigger than people think, I think, because if we didn't have Scream, we would not have gotten I Know What You Did Last Summer or Urban Legend or any of those movies like that, right? Probably not. Those movies, whether you like them or not, we wouldn't have gotten things like what do they lead to? They led to shit like Valentine in the early 2000s and other stuff like that. They led to, I feel like because of Scream, we had that weird boom in the early 2000s of ghost movies. Like we had Ghost Ship, House on Haunted Hill.
The Ring.
I get those were remakes and weird, like, you know, Japanese imports. But I feel like we wouldn't have gotten that wave. Yeah, not H2O either.
Let me ask you this on the opposite side of that. Would that have benefited Charles Band? It's kind of an interesting or weird question to ask because he dominated the rental stores for the genre during that time. He's talked about how much money he was making from Puppet Masters, and Paramount was begging him, please crank out more Puppet Masters. We can't keep these since we're just selling them. There are people, the blockbusters need more copies. People are renting these films. Churn them out. He was dominating the genre in terms of the video stores.
Mm-hmm.
Had Scream not come out, do you think Charles Band's brand of horror would have stayed consistent, do you think the Paramount deal might not have fallen through with him? Because that's around the time he lost the Paramount deal, and then he started producing everything on his own.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that, but the ripple effect would have been.
I don't know if he would have done better, but Full Moon definitely would have been different today than it is today. Because like when he went on his own, that's when we got all the really not shitty, but the really, really low budget stuff like Killjoy and that kind of stuff, right? In the early 2000s, because he was basically, they were not broke, but he didn't have Paramount money.
He didn't have Paramount money.
So all that shit was really cheap looking.
So instead of making a movie a month with Paramount funds, he was now making 5 movies a year.
Yeah. So if maybe if Scream hadn't come out, if they had kept the money for him, maybe he would have kept making really quality stuff. But then the landscape of Full Moon would be different today. It might be better than it is today. I don't know.
You want to know one of the most interesting things that he talked about? He was on Joe Bob Briggs' show. I'm seeing some questions in the chat. I'm going to get to you guys. I don't want you guys to think you're not a part of the show, but I want to bring this up because I think the chat would be interested in hearing this. Head of the Family, which is such a good movie. They were playing that on The Last Drive-In. Jaden, you need to watch Hideous.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to watch Lurking Fear is 94, so fair enough. Hideous is a great one. Mm-hmm. And Killjoy. I love Killjoy. Charlie was talking about in 94, the Paramount deal, they were so happy with Charles. His Transfer sequels were doing good on VHS. Robot Wars, Demonic Toys, Doll Man. These movies were just killing. Puppet Master 3 and 4 and 5 were off to the races.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount was like, these movies are doing so good, Charlie. We need to option a movie for the theater. Let's put a movie out. Let's do a screening. What's the next project we've got coming up? He told them it's Shrunken Heads. I love that movie. Charles says Paramount sets up a screening for Shrunken Heads. The executives are there to see this movie. And Charlie said he quickly knew this movie was not going to the theater. Paramount were not happy because Charlie doubled down with his just not low budget in terms of quality at that time, but just sleazy and messed up and kids dying in the beginning of the film. And so he says, I just wonder, what if Paramount had asked him to do that and they were like, hey, let's demo a film. And he goes, awesome. I've got this movie called Subspecies.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if that had gone to the theater and done well and Charlie's film started going to the theater? I mean, think of what would have happened if there would have been a different movie. That's another just a thought for you. What if Paramount had said, let's just see, this Puppet Master thing tested really well with a couple of groups. Let's put it out in 2,000 screens across the country. Because the movie was so good. And I always say that I love my Puppet Master. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies. What if Puppet Master and Brandon, what is the thing everybody said about Puppet Master? Oh, I must have missed this in the theater.
Yep.
Because it was that good.
Yep.
What if Puppet Master had gone to the theater and was successful? Could a doll movie had worked in 89, 90 in horror during that time?
Yeah.
Do you think because of Child's Play, it actually would have elevated it
Probably.
Theatrically?
It's weird that you say that because up until about 10 years ago, I always thought that Puppet Master 1 was the one film in the series that went to theaters.
Right.
And I had just grown up with it on VHS because I was used to renting it. But I always assumed that the first movie had gone theatrical because it feels like a fucking theatrical movie.
It's a good movie.
Part 2 and 3 also feel like theatrical movies. They feel like they were released theatrically.
Agreed.
Part 4 and 5 don't because I remember them coming on VHS as VHS movies. But 1, 2, and 3 feel like theatrical films for sure. It's kind of depressing and it's a shame that they never went theatrical. What a fucking missed opportunity that was.
I'm back. Hopefully I'm not going to glitch out too much more tonight.
What's funny is that if you freeze, the bear remains the same.
So the bear throws you off.
Well, you were sitting there like this. So I was like, are you frozen?
I'm sorry. But yeah, I just I don't know, man. If I ever retire from YouTube one day and I stop, the only thing I truly hope, is that I got some younger people to have found Puppet Master or movies like that. Because I love it so much. It's my life. Bread and butter is Charles Band films. That's my only thing that I really hope more than anything. Not Return of the Living Dead. Because if you're cool, you love that movie. I can't make you cool. That's just facts. But I really hope when all is said and done, that I had pushed Charles Band's amazing films onto some younger viewers. Because that dude, I think I told you the story of when I first saw Puppet Master 4 when I was really little, and I watched puppets shooting lasers. And then for years, I thought I made that up in my head. And when I finally watched Puppet Master 4 again, it shocked me that it wasn't a fever dream. It was real.
Yeah.
So, but
it's still fucking good.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, dude, I like the Just the Thoughts.
Appreciate it.
But the chat, let's see what the chat is saying. Do you guys have any questions for us? We'll go a few more minutes. I don't want to wear out Dirty Money. He's got work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love Trancers, Gabriella. I got the 4K, which wasn't a great 4K, but I am excited. Puppet Master 3 is hitting 4K this month. I should be getting my review copy soon. Fingers crossed. I hope it's good. God knows I love me some Puppet Master 3. Does anybody have any questions for us? Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting a review copy of that, Dave. Last American Virgin. Great movie. Anyone interested in the new Winnie the Pooh horror film? Blood and Honey. Yeah. Are you interested? Smokey the Bear. That looks like Blood and Honey.
Dude, that bear looks fucking ripped.
I love him, dude. He's gonna be a staple of the live shows now. Smokey the Bear. But I'm gonna give him a different hat every time.
He's got the funniest look on his face. It's amazing.
He's pissed, dude. Let's see. TCM remake or X? Blu-ray Addict asks. But that's for both of us. What do you prefer, TCM remake or X?
Oh God.
TCM for you.
I don't know.
He does cut her head off at the end of TCM.
He does. I really need to watch X again before I make a final judgment. You know what I mean? I always have to reassess them once or twice. But
dude, that's a series on your channel now. The Final Judgment.
The Final Judgment.
You need to film like an initial thought thing for a movie. No, that's too much work. Because
that's why I never do that, dude. I don't review newer movies. That's why I haven't done Halloween Ends, because I always change my mind. So I rarely ever do new films. I did 2022 Texas Chainsaw last year just because of Leatherface Day, and we were far removed from January by that point. I had enough time to see it 2 or 3 times and make my final assessment. But I'm afraid to review X or Pearl yet, because I know a year from now my fucking thoughts will be different.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to only review older movies.
So do you have an answer at this moment for this question?
I'll say Texas Chainsaw Massacre right now for me. Okay. And I don't like that movie. I just liked it more than X as of now. But that'll probably change.
Thank you, Afro Whale. Proud of you too. Looking forward to Subspecies 5. I am. That movie looks pretty damn good. I'm ready for Charlie to put that out. Oh, Charlie said on the last podcast there is going to be a remake of Trancers. A high budget profile remake of Trancers.
Is he making it?
No. He's not making it. He's getting paid to license it. And if it's anything like Puppet Master Littlest Reich or Castle Freak, we're in good hands. But who's going to play the trance? Who's going to play Jack Death? I want Tim Thomerson back.
How old is he now?
Probably late 60s.
He could probably do it. They can make it like a legacy sequel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. After the last Renfield trailer, is it still your most anticipated horror movie of 2023? I'm the most excited to see it. I'm really anticipating Scream 6 because it's just something else. It's something different from the franchise. But I guess Renfield still is. I'm so excited to see it, Renfield. I can't wait to see Nicolas Cage's Dracula. So that's probably my answer. I will be getting TCM from Dark Sky. Still waiting to see what Second Sight has to offer. There's another Planet of the Apes coming soon. What is y'all's favorite puppet? Mine is Torch.
Oh, Torch is so good.
I've got to go Pinhead.
It really depends on the movie. It depends on the movie.
Yeah, I think
because part 1 Blade is not like any other movie that Blade's in. Part 1 Blade is different than part 2, 3, 4, 5 Blade to me.
Yeah. I think Tunneler is fantastic in 3, but he also has a killer scene in 1. Pinhead's freaky in the first movie.
Yeah.
When he crawls out of the casket, you see the hands go up on the casket. Oh man. Torch owns Puppet Master too. There's no
I think
question.
Torch is like consistent and fun. And I think Torch probably is the coolest puppet. Either Torch or Jester.
It's a lost cause. I can't reach him. But my end all be all answer is probably Pinhead.
Mm.
I love Pinhead. A lot of good ones though. Let's see. Oh, people are voting TCM remake. Brandon says CHH is still have to add you, but when's you planning on back on PlayStation? I know I'm recording a podcast tomorrow with Nick, but I might play tomorrow night, but I'm gonna play this weekend for sure. Add me, guys. Planet CHH. Let's see. Is the Castle Freak remake worth a worthy buy? Yes, Fight the Good Fight. What do you think about Infinity Pool, Brandon?
The trailers look kind of cool. I haven't seen the movie. Is that out yet?
I don't know if it's out yet. I have no idea. Have you heard they're developing a Megan sequel? Yeah, after it made so much money. Thoughts on the movie The House That Jack Built? Have you seen that? Dude, that movie's fucked. It's good, but it's fucked.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see that, but I heard it was pretty gnarly.
I've got the Trancers Blu-ray, Trancers 4 Blu-ray. Are you guys going to do your top 100 on the podcast? Maybe not tomorrow, Blu-ray Addict, but yes, for sure. I think Charlie said he's going to put his most well-renowned films out in that order. So not all of them, but probably a good selection of them, like Subspecies, Castle Freak. Will we ever see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre complete box set in 4K? I would love that. I would love that. Let me ask you this, Brandon. Let me ask the chat this. What is the most... I don't like using this term, but I really don't know how else to put it. What is the most underrated... I hate that term. I don't want to use that term. Let me just ask you this outright. Mm-hmm. And let me say why I don't like the term underrated. I don't like using the term underrated for any movie in the Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. To me, and maybe I'm wrong, and if that's the case, I'm wrong. But when I think of an underrated film, that means that it's not talked about in general at all. It's like almost undiscovered. Like when I think of an underrated film, I think of Michael Mann's Manhunter. To me, that is a far superior version than Red Dragon. They're the same movie. Red Dragon's conceit is basically a remake, but that was the author's movie Red Dragon made beforehand. That's a movie that I don't see talked about in general. Or a movie like I reviewed today, Vamp. That's a movie that's under the surface. But what I want to ask is, what do you think? I guess so. What I mean, the reason I don't want to use the term underrated for what I want to ask you is because everybody talks about the Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street films. If there's a film that doesn't have a popular opinion, that I don't think that means it's underrated. I think that just means there's a lot of people that have an opinion on it, and most of it's negative.
Mhm.
But what I want to ask is, what is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film you think is good but has a bad reputation, or do you think it's just like people need they're going to come around to it? That's the way I really want to ask it. Super long-winded. That was ridiculous of me.
No worries. Probably 3D.
Yeah.
I know I say that all the time, but it's just it's a much better story and legacy sequel than 2022. The characters are better. The acting is way better. Yeah, just as a sequel to the original film, I think 3D does it way better. Besides the obvious and blatant timeline issues which plague the film, that movie is actually really fun. It's just, I don't know, it's that movie's an all around good time, and it's a fun watch. It's quick, it's easy, and I just like that movie. I have problems with it. Again, the timeline's a huge problem with that movie, but besides that, it's way better than 2022 in my opinion. His masks are kind of hokey in that movie, but it's hokey in fucking 2022 also. But the guy who played Leatherface in 3D is awesome. Dan Yeager did a good job. The guy who played him in 2022 did a fucking good job too. But I think Yeager captured Gunnar Hansen more to me than the Gunnar Hansen than the guy from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Long-winded answer, but I think 3D. It's full of lore too, man. There's a lot of fucking world building in that movie. Rich characters, histories. Like they did a lot, like a attention to detail as far as characters and like timelines, not timelines, but family lines and stuff like that, and trying to build this really corrupt city around this story. It was a good effort, timeline issues aside. So
That's a good
if that movie didn't exist, now there's a long-winded response, I'm sorry, but if that movie didn't exist, I would say part 3. Because I feel like part 3 is underrated too. Because nobody talks about that movie. People talk about 1 and 2. People talk about 4 because it's so damn bizarre. People talk about the remake and the prequel for good reason, because those 2 movies kick fucking ass. And people are talking about the newest film, obviously, because it's the newest one. But I feel like people don't really talk about 3 that often, or 3D. Leatherface gets left out of every conversation, but that's a whole nother conversation. So.
My answer was actually, part of me wanted to say Next Generation, but I can meet people halfway on it. I think there are things that you have to give an honest look at. Like when you look at McConaughey, he's dangerous in that movie. He's nuts. It's quirky, it's wacky. They take risks, but I got to go with 3. I think every time I watch that film, I say to myself, no, this is good. Like I remember we might have talked about this last stream. I can't remember. I always saw 3 as a mix between 1 and 2. There are certain black humor stuff, obviously, that 3 has with its characters, but then there are moments in 3, I think in the beginning, that sends a chill up my fucking spine when they're digging up that corpse in the ground and they're wearing the hazmat suits because there's acid. The blood from this body gave off some kind of like acidic poison where if you breathed it in or got it on you, and the cop says, "Don't stop for nobody or nothing." That shit, the first time I watched it, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. I mean, it really got to me. And then the movie gets quirky and funny, but it's still really mean. You know, it's not
very mean.
It's not Freddy's Dead where it's like, you know, but I just think part 3 is still really mean, and
it is.
I every time I watch it, I say, God damn it, no, this is good. That's one I would love a 4K for. You know, we're getting 1. We've got 2. I think the logical next one to do is 3. Not the remake. That can come later. Not really. I'm not the biggest remake. I like it, but it's funny. I mean, it's one of those movies where people love it and I understand, but at the same time, I just don't connect with it as much. That's not my Leatherface. I don't.
It's
I
a
don't
stark. It's
connect. I don't connect with Briniarski.
It's a very. I love Bernarski as Leatherface, but it's a starkly different take on Leatherface.
It is. It's just
It's
yeah. My Leatherface is 1 and 2 every day of the week.
I agree for sure.
My Leatherface is nervous, confused, and Briniarski just to me just seems like he was a pit bull, just a mean, grizzly.
He even says Bernarski even said in one of the special features that this Leatherface, unlike Gunnar Hansen's, this one knows what he's doing. He likes what he's doing.
It's just
that's the difference right there. That's a brute thug who kind of wants vengeance on people because they made fun of him, and the other guy is just a scared,
And I want to make something extremely clear. I'm not saying it doesn't work. No. Because I'm a big fan of the bigger brute Myers. That works for me. I like that essence more.
Yeah.
But I am in love with the Leatherface that acts out of fear. Because that is so unique to me as a quote unquote villain.
Yeah.
So that with Texas, it's just very interesting.
And now that you bring up part 2, sorry to interrupt you, but Bill Johnson from part 2 gets nowhere near the credit he deserves for his take on Leatherface in part 2. He was fucking fantastic.
It was great. Just so good. And yeah, and Mosley really brought out a lighter shade of gray to his Leatherface as well. But it was the synchronicity of the family in 2 and TCM. God damn it. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 so much.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
There's the 2 to me every day of the week, twice on Sunday. The 2 best Texas Chainsaw Massacre films are 1 and 2.
There's a reason I ranked those 2 films as Crystal Skulls and not any of the other films in the series. 1 and 2. Beyond masterpieces, man.
Oh. And there's some stuff about 2 I like more than 1, if I'm being dead ass. I think you really can't beat Carolyn Williams' Stretch.
No, Stretch is the best final girl in the whole fucking series.
Know.
Eon's better than Sally Hardesty. I mean, all due respect to Marilyn Burns, R.I.P. She was fantastic as Sally, but Stretch was I don't know, Stretch was just a fun character.
She was inviting.
Yeah.
You fall in love with her instantly. Just the way she's a good old girl, Red River rock and roll, like the way she talks, something about that Southern accent. And I live in this neck of the woods too. I essentially live in like, I'm almost like I'm an hour from Texas. So I feel like I get that vibe from people. It's that homey, inviting, trusting vibe of that Southern people with that accent and stuff, and people are charmed by it. And it's like and that's not a gimmick. That's Carolyn Williams. Yeah, that's who she is, and it's so authentic. She was perfect for that movie, and even is it LJ that was
LG?
LG. What was their relationship
in the film?
Yeah,
I think he just wanted some, and she had no interest in giving him any. That was the relationship. It's fucking so tragically weird what happened to that guy in real life too. That's so crazy. Lou Perryman.
What's up, Jay Flesher? John, dude. John Flesher probably has original Texas Chainsaw posters signed by every character. Wow, Jaden said I debated putting TCM 2022 over the original, but I didn't want people to get the chainsaws out.
No, if you liked it, you have to do it. You cannot base your decision off anybody else's opinion.
I love Stepfather 2, Landfill. I love Stepfather 2. I need to see Stepfather 3. I thought it was stupid when I heard, oh my God, they recasted the Stepfather. But apparently they play it off as he got plastic surgery. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I can buy that.
I've only seen the first 2. I don't remember seeing a fucking part 3 on shelves.
Dude, okay, so everybody that has seen part 3, I swear to God, and it's not like 2 people. It's been like 5 or 6. Everybody that I've ever heard of that has seen Stepfather 3 says, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good."
Oh, you know what? I remember this VHS. I remember this black VHS with him standing in like the silhouetted light. I remember seeing this fucking VHS tape. Yeah, I've never seen the movie though. But anyways, part 2 it takes us right back to Jeff Burr, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, right? So,
yep,
insane.
Insane. Look, dude, I need more Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I think this year the fix for the fans is going to be the game, which I had a great support. I was blessed, Brandon. So I have to play Texas Chainsaw Massacre this game. I have to.
I'm excited about it.
So if it did, you obviously played Friday the 13th.
I did not. I never got a chance to, man. I really want to still, though.
I hope you do, because it literally is Jesus Christ.
My big problem with it was I was hoping it was going to be a playthrough of the whole series, like an adventure mode where you play as Jason through every single film, like the whole story arc. And then when it wasn't that, I kind of got deflated. But I heard it's been fun as shit, though.
It is. The thing is, that probably could have happened. They still were adding things to the game, and the lawsuit axed all of that. And then they couldn't afford to spend hours and time on a game for stuff that could not get resolved, and that they couldn't waste the resources. So they made a conscious decision to say, hey, we have to move on. I was upset. The fans were upset at the time, but then we realized we can't be mad at Gun Media for that. They have to move forward.
Yeah.
But what was so amazing though, Brandon, was the attention to detail on the Jasons. I mean, you literally could play as Part 8 Jason, Part 7, Part 6, Part 5, Part 4, Part 3, Part 2.1, and Jason Goes to Hell. The Jason Goes to Hell look was amazing, but you have to really get a lot of points to unlock it. There was also a special Jason that was Tom Savini designed.
Yeah, the Hell Jason, right?
Yeah. And when I was playing the game, there was a lot of problems, but it was funny. I when I started playing it, anyway, what I say was, I have an Xbox One. It took a dump. It finally crapped out. And we were going to get a PS4 because I can't afford a PS5. I'm not spending $600 on a system. You got to be out of your mind. So I was going to try to get a PS4, and one of my lovely viewers hit me up and says, dude, I have a PS4. It's just sitting in the closet. It's collecting dust. I'd be more than happy to send it to you. And if you're listening, I don't want to say your name in case you want to stay private, but thank you so much. My wife is playing it right now. She's off to the races with it. But so we got a PS4 now, and I love it, quite frankly. But I'm so glad, because now Texas Chainsaw Massacre, apparently, it don't matter what system you have. If I want to play with you,
cool,
we can connect.
Cross-platform. That's awesome.
Cross-platform.
And
apparently, if you have an Xbox Series S, whatever that new one is, and I have a PlayStation 4, we can play. Or if I have a PS5 and you got an Xbox One, we can play. So, I mean, I literally...
So on your PS4, you can't play with someone on Xbox One?
On the game, it's a game thing now. It's not a system thing so much anymore, apparently. So, Friday the 13th, you have to have a PlayStation 4 to play with me.
Right.
But for this Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and some other games are obviously doing this now, they've finally come to some agreement, Sony and Microsoft and Steam, whatever that is. I think it's computer versions. It don't matter. If you want to play, and Evil Dead was the same way. Nick was talking about that. Nick said he was playing people on PS5 for Evil Dead. He was playing on Xbox. So now, if you get Texas Chainsaw the game, it don't matter what do you have, an Xbox Series S or an Xbox One S?
I think it's just a 1.
But it plays 4Ks, you said, right?
It does. I got it in 2017, early 2017. It's still kicking, but it plays 4Ks beautifully, yeah.
So that's an Xbox One S, because somebody was asking if they play 4Ks. You have to have a special version, I think, of both the play.
Yeah. Mine's the white box. So I guess maybe it's the S, maybe.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, you can get, when Texas Chainsaw comes out, you can get it, and I'm going to get it, and we can play.
Yes.
So here's what I want to say, though. I pray to God in heaven. First of all, you should be happy that Kane Hodder is playing Leatherface.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I pray to God in heaven that they're going to do the same thing with Friday and have the skins for the different
Oh,
Leatherfaces.
like part 2, part 3.
Could you imagine
Different maps and stuff from all the movies, like the part 3 house and the part 2 lair. If they had that as a map, dude, that would be fucking hardcore.
Oh my God. Or the Sawyer house from 3D.
Yeah,
in
that
the
would be awesome.
graveyard.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
And people are talking about Killer Clowns coming out. I'm gonna get that too. But like, this is what we need though. Like for part 1 Leatherface, you got to have golden Leatherface, and you got to be able to press that button in to change the skin. Boom, pretty lady. Isn't there a third mask in that movie?
Yeah, there's the grandma mask.
That too,
which is incredibly freaky.
Watch that. The grandma mask will be a PS5 exclusive.
Yep, something weird like that. Bastards.
So for part 2, should be straightforward. We should get the suit and tie. Part 3, Leatherface. We have got to have the Saw's family chainsaw. Oh my God.
It'd be like 10,000 credits or some shit like that.
Yeah, but dude, how badass would it be to have that chainsaw?
There's so much stuff they can mine from this franchise. Like, you have Ken Foray's character in there. He could voice it. He's still alive. Stretch could still voice her character. She's still around.
Dallas
There's
Jones.
So much stuff you could do, man.
Dallas Jones just got me hard. I want to play as next generation Leatherface so bad. I'm wrecking shop with drag queen Leatherface. Like, I'm bowling through everybody.
As long as they have a plane that like hits you if you go to the wrong part of the map.
Well, that's to get the plane. Like in Friday the 13th, there were things you could do. Like you could find the fuses to put it into the fuse box on one of the cabins, so you could then call the cops, and the cops can arrive, and you can get out of the camp. Or you find the car parts and put them in the car, and then start the car and try to drive out of the camp, which was the most fun thing to do. So for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what we can do is you can radio for Lefty. Lefty shows up. So this is the way this was the coolest thing about the game. So in Friday the 13th, if you got on the phone, you would call Tommy Jarvis. So if you're playing a game with people, and if you die, the game will select one of the people that have died in the game, in a live game, to come back as Tommy Jarvis. And they got Tom Matthews as a likeness to a T. And I think they used his voice too.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't do that with Dennis Hopper. But if they can get the approval from his family to use his likeness and get like a voice actor to do his voice, if you're playing a match and somebody dies, think about this. You ready? If you're playing a match and Leatherface has killed 2 or 3 people, and somehow you're able to radio, you find the radio and you radio for Lefty. He shows up with the double chainsaws on his hip, and you get to track Leatherface down and fight him with the baby chainsaws. And we've got to get I'm the Lord of the Harvest.
Oh, that would be the best thing ever.
Oh,
who's that?
So that would have to be the character that would come back. Because who else would be a character that you could bring? Here's the question: can you play as Franklin and roll around on the wheelchair?
Oh man, we're gonna get fucking canceled for this conversation.
I'm just saying he was in a wheelchair in the movie.
Yeah. Could you fall off of it and then like use the wheelchair as the brace and like pull yourself through the woods and shit?
I don't know.
But
would there be any
spit at him and stuff?
Could there be any other character that would have that power that you could come back as besides Lefty in the series? You know what I mean?
No.
Justin Smith saying it's not going to play like the it won't play like the Friday the 13th game at all. So that may be different. I don't know. You know, this is going to be the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre game.
Yeah, the other one was Atari, right?
Dude, I have the cartridge for it. I bought it in an Atari lot for $100. I bought like 50 games, Atari games, and Texas Chainsaw was in that lot.
That's insane.
So I got it for a steal. And
Yeah.
my wife bought me Halloween, the cartridge.
I can't believe there's a fucking Halloween game.
And guess who made them?
Who?
Charles Band.
No. Oh, that's true.
Wizard Video Games.
Right. That's fucking insane.
Isn't it?
That is insane.
And then nobody bought them. Stores wouldn't sell them.
Dude, speaking of Charlie Band, I was watching the Rob Zombie interview today. The first part. I cannot fucking find part 2 on the YouTube channel. There's 2 uploads of the first part. I can't find a second part anywhere in the playlist.
Go on Tubi. All the Full Moon Freak shows are on Tubi. It should be on there. If not, I'll hook you up. I have the Full Moon app.
Okay. Yeah, because on YouTube it's just 2 uploads of the first part.
They probably fucked up.
Fuck? Yeah.
But dude, those interviews are great because Rob really starts talking about Bob Weinstein and shit. It was good.
It's impossible to dislike Rob Zombie. Like, the more interviews you see across all these years, the more you're like, this guy's cool as fuck.
He's just doing his thing and having a good time, and he's not raising his voice. He doesn't say anything stupid. He minds his own business. Mm-hmm. But he just he pisses people off, man. What can I say? He's a likable dude.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, guys, I think we need to wrap it. You guys were fantastic tonight. You guys, your VHS tapes, Brandon. Do you have a stack near you?
I got a stack yesterday at the flea market, but most of them are not horror movies. So I'll just show the 3 horror ones I got out of that stack. Unless you really want me to show the stack, but they're not horror movies. So I got The Crow, which I consider to be horror.
Show whatever you want to show, man.
It's pretty good quality. There's no white mold. Got this for $1. I'm not a huge fan of this movie, but it was the special limited edition VHS, no white mold, of The Haunting, which I thought was pretty cool. Pretty good condition.
Limited edition.
Yeah, special limited edition. And I found this for $1, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark VHS.
Clamshell?
Yep.
Dude, I love that movie.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's a good movie.
Pretty good condition. There's no white mold. The videotape is pretty much pristine.
I'm jealous of that one. I'm going to be honest with you.
This one has the tobacco smell. Like it's been in a smoker's house. I love it. For 35 years.
Tobacco?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love that movie so much.
Oh, yeah. You can't beat it.
That's a good double.
The other stack.
That's a good double feature with Return of the Living Dead 2. It's just like quirky fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
These aren't horror, so forgive me, but these will go up on Tabata Vision TV as unboxing videos, but I got 2 copies.
Subscribe to Tabata Vision TV.
Yes, do that too. I'm almost at 100 subscribers in that channel. I got 2 copies of Fried Green Tomatoes for $1 a piece. Why? I don't know. I got Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock on VHS. Pretty pristine quality.
Wow. Paramount.
Oh, yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Blade Runner, the director's cut.
Shrink wrapped.
I thought it was too. I thought it was brand new, but I was like, oh, it's technically open, but still cool. I mean, these were $1. You know what I mean? You'll love this one. Top Gun VHS. Look at that.
Oh, man.
So I got Dirty Dancing. Look at that shit.
Oh, wow.
Raiders of the Lost Ark with the original title, not Indiana Jones in the title.
Wait up, what?
Yep.
So wait up, they added that?
Yeah, people always forget that when this came out, it was just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. It wasn't called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
What was the first home video release that added that?
I'm not really sure. This one says 1981. So I think this is the first one. But anyways, pristine quality. I know when Temple of Doom came out, that was called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Maybe they re-released it then. That movie came out in what, 83?
Sounds 85? About right.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on, I got Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, pristine fucking VHS tape too.
Look at all these Paramount tapes.
I know. Parenthood. VHS.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I couldn't believe I found all these things. And I think the coolest find there was the Jewel of the Nile on VHS.
What?
Yeah.
Where'd you find these?
There's a flea market about 35 minutes from our house that we go to semi-often, a couple times a year. And there's more and more VHS things popping off out there. And they're usually like $1 a piece. So I'm always finding good stuff out there.
You're kidding.
But there was one corner that I found yesterday, one corner of this lady's VHS lot that had every tape almost in there had white mold all over the tape. And luckily, these all came from the racks across the way that didn't have any white mold anywhere on any of the tapes. And I told her, I was like, you need to do something about those because that shit's going to spread. She's like, I need to clean those off. I know. I need to get to it. I'm thinking maybe you should do that, lady, because that's really good. That's going to fucking ruin all your shit.
Well, how do you clean off white mold? Do you just have to take like a baby wipe and like hand wind the tape to get all the way through to clean it off? Or
you could probably use a baby wipe. What you can do is put like alcohol on like a Q-tip or get like a cotton ball or a tissue. Take the tray off of VCR, put the tape in, and then as the tape's rewinding or fast forwarding, just hold the damn cotton there or the Q-tip there with the alcohol on it and let the tape just run by it, and it'll clean off the white mold.
okay.
And it pretty much won't ever grow back. But it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it's almost cheaper sometimes just to rebuy the fucking VHS tape if you can get it cheap enough, you know?
So what's the highlight of that stack for you?
Of the whole stack?
I gotta go Elvira.
Yeah, the Elvira thing is really cool. I can't believe I found that for $1.
Bring that back up. I want to show you something that's interesting about that. Now turn it to the side. Okay, is it a solid thing or because sometimes on those clamshells, what they'll do is they'll cut the actual box up.
Yeah, this is cut. If you can see that, but
well, I meant by the spine too. Is it cut on the spine?
Oh no, it's not cut. It's folded. It doesn't fit the case. The fold actually happens too late. The actual crease is here, but the clamshell's up here, so you kind of lose a little bit of the cover on it.
I know people don't like that, but if it was cut basically when it came out and they did that and they put it in a clamshell, that is my favorite thing ever. I love vintage clamshell. Like I love vintage clamshells that came from the video stores because they needed to protect their tapes from droppings and people just handling them at the stores. I love it. I have a Jason Takes Manhattan like that. It's a cut box.
That's awesome.
So, man, that's great.
Yeah, getting it going.
What VHS tapes do you need, or is there anything that you're on the hunt?
I'm really trying to get a couple more versions of Zombie 2 on VHS. Like,
do you have any?
The only ones I have now. Let's see if I can do this without spilling this. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. That was almost a fucking disaster. I have this version from I think the late 90s, this is the first version I owned on VHS.
Oh, hold on. I gotta bring that up. Holy shit. Is that an Anchor Bay one?
This is Video Treasures Anchor Bay. Yep, you're right.
Oh my god, look at that. I'm jelly of that. I bet John Flesher's got all of these.
Look, it's still in the spot where I must have stopped watching it 15 years ago.
Dude, look at that thing.
This is the VHS. Yeah, this is the VHS version I first rented in VHS stores when I was a kid, when I first saw the film way back in the day. And it was this.
What?
Yeah.
That's even cooler. So
when I found this on eBay, I was like, holy shit, that's the version I remember. And what's weird about this is you've seen Zombie on VHS, right? It's the scene where it's the usual scene where he says the boat can leave now and then the credits roll and it says zombie. This one says zombie in the big bold white letters like we're used to, right?
Okay.
This version, for some reason in this release, when he says the boat can leave now, blood rains down on the screen, covers it completely in red, and when it disappears, it says Zombie 2 in white font. It's very strange. Yeah. Very weird, man. But I want the Voodoo release. There's a couple other DVD releases. I want to get a bunch. I want an excess of Zombie 2 releases.
Dude, those
I
are
fucking
badass.
love that shit. Yeah.
Dude, best Italian horror film ever made.
Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely Fulci's best for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It that movie makes you feel like you need to take a shower after you watch it.
Dude, that and the New York Ripper. The New York Ripper just makes me feel disgusting, but it's so good. I love it. It's too much for people though. It really is. It crosses a line, and I get it, but I love taking that journey every now and again to a movie that's just like, this is not safe. You know?
Yeah.
Burial Ground is great. I love Burial Ground.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Burial Ground is fucking-tastic. Those zombies trip me out. I swear to God, as cheesy as they look, there's something really freaky about the way they looked. Especially that fucking guy in that movie with like the piano key teeth. That one zombie. The wizard. Okay. What's his name? J7 Flesher. John. His name's John.
John Flesher. Yeah.
The John. This is the guy with all the stuff, right? John. There was just that big box was just on eBay. I think it sold for like $300. I put a bid in for it, but I lost out. But it sold for like $300. I think it was a pretty good quality big box of Zombie 2. Bastards.
Let's see something here. Oh my God.
If anybody in the chat has a Voodoo version of Zombie 2 on VHS, message me. I will buy it from you.
Dude, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, I couldn't believe it. I found a Wizard big box at Goodwill a couple weeks ago. It wasn't a big popular movie, but I mean, it was it's a beautiful big original Wizard video big box.
I think you mentioned that. What movie was it?
The War of Panzer Wizard big box. I think that's it. The Battle of Panzer. This is my big box. I got this. The Battle of the Last Panzer. It's like an old black and white war movie.
Yeah.
But that's it. Oh, dude. I want that. The midnight video of the Wizard of Gore.
Wow.
That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love the Wizard. The original Wizard of Gore is some of the most crude gore I've ever seen. My wife showed me that film. Believe it or not. But yeah, that's a great movie, dude. And then Crispin Glover did the remake. The Wizard of Gore. Yeah.
I remember hearing about the remake. Yeah.
Anyway, this has been one hell of a show, man. This might have been the best one yet.
I think so.
You know, we had me, you, and Smokey the Bear.
That's right. Look at him.
He's good. But
you need to do a whole fucking podcast with him as the other guest.
Smokey?
Just talking to him. Yeah.
But I've got to, should I do voiceover?
You got to do voiceover. You got to cut it together. You got to put him in another chair and just like make it fucking insane.
Smokey the General.
And don't ever acknowledge it. Don't talk about it to people. Don't answer questions about it. Just make the videos and let them stand for what they are. Disable the comments.
But here's the thing, though. It's just like everybody's in on the joke now because we're talking about this to 90 people live right now.
We'll ban all them and then
ban them. Richard Strange says you guys should just do one of these talking about video nasties. I think we should.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, guys, you guys were awesome tonight. I had a great time. Yeah, this was badass, man. I needed this tonight. We had a lively chat. The people asked for Brandon Tabbato. The people got Brandon Tabbato.
They did.
So I told Brandon, man, as long as he's free when I do my lives like this once a week, dude, he's down to come on, man. So everybody subscribe to Tabbato Vision.
Yeah, I'm at 2050 now. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Keep it going. Tabbato Vision TV. And then there's also Tabbato Tunes.
That's right.
Is it TOONS or
It's
TUNES?
it's TUNES. If I make a cartoon channel, it'll be TOONS. There's also Brandon Tabata. There's also
That's where your movies are. Oh, your
yeah.
movies are on there.
I'm gonna start putting them on Tabata Vision though. I think it's time to make the migration.
Dude, did you remember you got a lot of press when you made your Halloween 3 movie?
I always forget about it until I go back and look. I find articles. I'm like, yeah, there's kind of a big deal.
Do these people hit you up? Like, did Bloody Disgusting hit you up?
I think somebody else reached out to them, and then they kind of reached out to me. But it wasn't like, I don't think they just found it. But I don't think I reached out to them first. But they won't talk to me now for some reason. Like ever since that came out, they won't talk to me because they kind of pushed it. And at the time, this was still after Never Hike Alone. But they kind of pushed Halloween 3, that the Return of the Witch, for me a little bit. And they gave me like, they were going to put it on their channel and stuff. And they put up like a little banner. Like they gave me some really cool free press and they seemed into it. I think it was the John guy, whatever the John guy's name who runs that channel.
Squire.
And there was so much backlash about that short film when it came out because I think people were expecting more. And I'm like, no. It was always a short film made for no money, just a little character study. It was never meant to be Never Hike Alone. It was never meant to be this huge.
Oh, so you think the press actually bit you in the ass a little bit?
No, I think it was just people because people fucking hate that movie, and that's fine. I don't care.
I thought it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, people fucking hated it. I think it's out of all my stuff, I think that's the most hated one is Return of the Witch. I think after there was so much backlash, I think that's when they were like, nope, we are not going to even talk to this guy anymore because they stopped returning emails or for a good year or two. And I finally gave up trying to push other films with them. I think it was just probably had to do with like, since they kind of pushed my film, maybe there was a lot of complaints about, well, you pushed that guy's film. Why don't you talk about my fan film? There might have been that kind of backlash. Yeah. That's what I'm assuming. Because I never had like a bad conversation with them or anything. It's just after it came out and it got so much bad backlash, there was like this no more connection.
And there is a lot of fan films nowadays.
Yeah.
They're probably getting people breathing down their neck trying to get them to promote stuff.
I'm sure. Yeah. That was back in 2018. That was already a whole nother era. Anyway, you know what I mean? That was fucking 5 years ago now. So
Jesus Christ.
Insane.
Well, guys, I'll tell you this. Call Me Evil, now available.
Yes, it's good. And Christian did the theme song and it kicks fucking ass.
I'm so proud of that.
Still say you should release that song separately. I'm telling you, it's a banger.
I had fun recording it, you know. I had fun recording it. I did what I could with it, but I think the movie I love it. I'm not saying like it's good. Like I really like your shots. Everything looks so professional. I feel like you're not even trying to make it look as good as it is. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like you just know how to do it. Like it looks so cinematic, you know?
Yeah.
Now, did you crop that at all when you had to put it on YouTube, or the black bars on the top and bottom? Did you have any of that in the film? I can't remember.
I shot it in native 16:9 full frame. I cropped it down to 1.85.
Okay.
So I did mat it. Yeah.
But I love it. That's what makes it.
Yeah.
You know.
I was going to crop it down to 2.35, but I was like, nah, I didn't frame it for that. So it would have cut off a lot of the stuff. But I thought 1.85.
And on people's phones, it might be a little. Yeah.
1.85 feels also very VHS old school. So I feel like that was like what most of the films were at, is 1.85.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, listen, we really need to end it. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Have a great night. We love you. Good night. Oh, God.